Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Strange World. This is strange, just one Strange World, not worlds, not Stranger Worlds. No, it's Strange World. This is a 2022 Disney animated film. This is for its 100th anniversary. It had the 100th anniversary logo in front of it. It's an hour and 47 minutes long, and it is a surprising box office flop. It shouldn't really, that doesn't really figure into the review at all. It's just that it's a newer film that a lot of people never saw in the theaters. And that could have had something to do with the Disney Plus effect. Well, hey, after sitting inside for a year or so due to the pandemic, everybody kind of got used to just seeing everything Disney had on Disney Plus and all the other streaming channels, all the streaming services that had their own stuff. We kind of just forgot to go to the movies anymore for a while. And even when we did, it was just like, well, we weren't like rushing out to see anything. And in this also, in the sense, this is a Disney animated film that's not a musical. It is not, it doesn't look like it's marketed towards tween girls, which tends to be their bread and butter. Frozen 2, coming soon, Frozen 3, things like that. That at least in the modern era, and of course, back in the Renaissance, between, Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and things like that, especially, they knocked it out of the park. Yes, there was Aladdin and The Lion King and things like that in between there, but yeah, when you're looking at Disney animation, whether it's 2D or 3D, there's a market that gets quickly drawn in when you see a princess, just the way it is. So when you get a Strange New World film, a film about essentially a family, sort of at odds with itself generationally, over 3 generations, and you get, I'm not going to spoil too much, because there is actually a lot to spoil, especially since so many people have not seen this film. But it has to do with family, and it has to do with generations, expecting things from each other, and also it's set in a fantastical world. It starts in a fantastical world. It discovers a strange new world, in a sense, that they never expected to find. So what we get is what looks like an alternate reality version of our history, like a sort of a retro futuristic world where just architecture looks different. It seems like maybe an agricultural turn of the century, 19th to 20th century kind of era. It even starts out with a kind of a newsreel type voiceover telling the story of the Cades. The Clades? Sorry, the Clade family, led by Jaeger Clade, voiced by Dennis Quaid. By the way, the voiceover for the narrator that's doing the old-timey type of feel to the history of the Clades, that's Alan Tudyk. Of course, Alan Tudyk is kind of the lucky charm. He has to show up in every one of the animated films these days. Of course, he was Chicken in Moana and Moana 2. Hey, and definitely, he's just in everything. Wreck-It Ralph, things like that. He was King Candy or whatever his name was. I just remember Alan Tudyk more than I remember the names of the characters he plays. But this is his only appearance in this, kind of gives us a background of who we're looking at when we first are introduced to these characters. Jaeger is just a macho, just big, adventurous explorer. He's going where nobody's gone before. He will forge any mountain, cross any stream. He will do anything to discover new lands and new destinations. And he's strong, he's brave, he's all these things that his son is not. His son, Searcher, voiced by Jake Gyllenhaal, who is essentially our main character. There's a number of main characters, but Searcher is our main character, because we get to see things through his eyes for the most part, both early in the film and later, as time passes. And Searcher is not an explorer. His dad brings him along, but he is not built for this. And one of the great things about this, the whole opening sequence where we're introduced to the characters, it's kind of done in a comic booky, early 20th century, mashed up with newsreel footage type of thing. So the visuals are almost a 2D comic books feel, while it's also like a flickering newsreel type feel. It's very retro, and but at the same time you're like, is this America? Is this where I think it is? I don't know. So yeah, it draws some questions, but it doesn't really matter. You're here for the adventure, hopefully, and that's what you get. This is actually full of a lot of action, a lot of astounding visuals. That's one of the things that drew me to the film when I first saw it advertised, but still never went to see it. Sorry, Disney. I don't think it lasted very long in theaters, mainly because it just nobody saw it. You could put it on the IMAX or the Dolby screens all you want, but if it doesn't perform the first week, the movie coming out next week kind of gets that spot. If it looks like it's going to do any better. Even when people go out of their ways to avoid a Disney release, sometimes things get moved around. And I think it disappeared from the theaters pretty quickly, at least where I am, and especially when, even in an area where, seriously, we have more movie screens than gas stations. Seriously, in LA, I'm pretty sure we have a lot of cars to put a lot of gas into, even though a lot of stuff is electric now. But we get to see Searcher. It's a very strange name for a son, but there's a little history between that. We just get to see a father and son who are just at odds with each other, and it really, literally pulls them apart into separate worlds, and not just figuratively, but literally. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything really by telling you this, that at some point they cross paths again, and yeah, it's still a problem. And then there's other characters that Searcher's family, as he's grown, has built up one, and there's all sorts of different dynamics there. His wife is played by Gabrielle Union. You'll know her from that cheerleading. I can't remember the cheerleading movie, but Brave with Kirsten Dunst. Lucy Liu is in this as well. She plays Callisto, and yeah, it's a fantastic cast. Jabuki Young White plays Ethan. I don't want to. That's one thing I don't want to give away, really. But he's an important character, especially to Searcher. You'll probably recognize a few other voices, like Karen Soni plays Caspian. He's Mohinder in Deadpool. So yeah, you'll hear that voice and be like, Deadpool. Yeah, that's him. So yeah, I realize that it doesn't do you much good if I can't talk about the story, but there's going to be certain elements I think certain people might have problems with, but really that's your problem. Let's just say that it's a world in which people are not hung up on who other people love. So we don't make judgments in this world. People are allowed to love who they want. So, but the world itself is fantastical. It's when you think you've seen the strangest creature possible, guess what? Something else comes along into frame. Some of it's even kind of grotesque, kind of just really scary in a sense. Not scary as in like you're going to have nightmares. Maybe your 4-year-old might have nightmares, but that depends on your 4-year-old. But there's just lots of creatures creepy crawling and bouncing around. There is a creature that befriends our heroes, and his name is Splat. Its name is Splat. We don't know what it is, but it looks, literally when you're looking at it, it looks like a splat. So, but yeah, it's throughout the entire film. You, along with the characters, are discovering brand new things and just finding more about this strange world. And there's a humongous twist in the third act that I absolutely will not ruin. Or maybe it's toward the end of the second. I'm not really sure where that break happens, but it's pretty important, and yeah. I can't say anything else. I say you've probably seen so many other Disney animated films. Maybe this might not be your most favorite even if you watch it. It's still, I think, one, the animation is gorgeous. The music, I think it's Henry Jackson, is it? I'm sorry if I got the name wrong. Yeah, Henry Jackman. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Henry Jackman. I'm pretty sure he's composed everything. It sounds, the music appropriately sounds very Indiana Jones-ish at times. It also feels like I'm walking through Adventureland in Disneyland, and that is a compliment. Yeah, it feels like big adventure, and it's as it should. So it's got little feelings of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's, that kind of stuff. It's lots of flying machines in this, and so you kind of have this. There's so many elements that it borrows from, so many classic films that you will be reminded of, and just the twist that comes in it. Well, let's just say some of you will recognize what that's all about. Some people will be completely confused by what the big twist is. But yeah, this is frustrating for me because since there's so many people who've not seen it, I don't want to ruin it. So watch it. Check it out. Honestly, you've probably seen everything else on Disney Plus, and if you've been holding off seeing this, and you really don't want to hear anybody sing "Let It Go," this is a Disney film that's for you. I think it's got strong family connections and helping people to understand who they are in relation to their parents and their children, and working all that out. So, but all through that, adventure, fun, humor, lots of comedy, and a great cast, great music. So can't be all bad. I think we just missed. We just got lazy when it came to going to see things in the theaters back in 2022. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 7. Oh, I think I know what this is. No. I mean, I had to watch it at some point. I was right. But the benefit of seeing this is the fact that we do not get the derivative sequels. I've already seen one of this movie's sequels. I've seen so many of the spin-offs of the sequels. But this is the original, the one that told people want to see more of this story. People want to see more of this character. And maybe it's great. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow when I watch Air Bud. It's the first one. At some point, I'm going to watch the sequels in the next 250 some days, 300 days at most. The next year, I'll have seen all the Air Bud movies, unless they take them off before I get to it. Will I be disappointed? I don't know. Either way, tomorrow, Air Bud is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.